Shall we begin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's begin now.
Thanks for joining. Before we go ahead and get started, I wanted to go over just kind of a couple of options real quick. So if you're looking to learn languages with the Elder Scrolls Online, there is English, French, and German. There is Russian, but there's no full audio support. So really your only main options are these three languages. And even if the language that you're learning isn't here, I highly encourage you to keep watching because you can apply a lot of these same concepts to other video games or other MMOs to learn languages. So, like I said, but if you're looking to play the Elder Scrolls Online specifically, here are really the main options. And at the time of this recording, you can pick up the Elder Scrolls Online for $19.99. And what's great is that there's a free-to-play version of the game, as well as a premium subscription. But to be honest with you, you really can just have hundreds of hours of content with the free-to-play version. And from a language learning perspective, it's just a great value for your money. And as well, here's the minimum system requirements for Mac and for Windows. Now, the game came out in 2014, so it's kind of intensive for your PC, but not like the most intensive game out there. So before you play, double check just to make sure that you can actually run the game. And with that all being said, let's go ahead and get started learning languages with the Elder Scrolls Online. Hi everybody, and welcome to Learning Languages with the Elder Scrolls Online. I'm Matt, and I'm going to kind of be giving you a couple of tips and best practices on how to approach learning languages with this game. So, the Elder Scrolls Online is really an awesome way to learn languages and have a great time with it. And it really has kind of everything. There's just tons of room to practice reading comprehension, to practice listening, speaking, and even writing. And you have this huge world to explore, even in the free-to-play version, where if I open up my map, you can just see that you can really go to so many different places and explore so many different areas. And you can kind of go to any region you want. So you can really create your adventure basically however you want to go, which is great. And you create a character and basically go and explore the world, become more powerful. You can become a crafter, play with other players and explore dungeons or whatever. And you really have a lot of free reign to do what you want. And from a language learning perspective, I think it's great because it almost simulates this kind of idea that you're a foreigner in this land and you don't know the language and you're slowly getting better over time. So, one of the things that I think is important with this game, and any video game for that matter, is that when you first play, it's going to probably be very, very overwhelming. And I think an online game like the Elder Scrolls Online is really no exception. If anything, it'll be even more overwhelming. And I think the first thing to really just keep in mind is try not to be overwhelmed, or at least be okay with being overwhelmed, because there's going to be so much. So like if I pull up my character menu, right, there's just so much stuff hitting you at once, right? Especially if you've never played an MMO before. Just trying to understand how to do things will be difficult, and then you're fighting an uphill battle with learning a language. But I think the key is just try to be okay with being overwhelmed, and it's slowly going to become more comfortable over time and easier, and you're going to learn more and have more fun. So there really is this kind of role-playing aspect where you can customize your character however you want. So we can create and customize the armor and the weapons that we have equipped. We can craft different items. We can basically create a character that specializes in certain weapons, armors, or magic. And that is just a huge opportunity to play the game however you want and really learn a diverse range of vocabulary. So, like I said, these menus, you'll read some of these menus, you'll see some of this text, and it's just a lot thrown at you. Be okay with that, and slowly just try to, accept that part of the process and get more comfortable. You'll get more comfortable with this over time. So when you're playing the game, one thing that I really recommend you do, along with any video game, is to have Google Translate up on another monitor, open up in another tab, or even on your phone or like an iPad next to you, because you're really going to want to have that Google Translate up so that you can translate words that you don't know. Now, I don't think that you should basically translate every single thing that you see, because then you're playing a Google Translate game, but definitely, translate words that you think are relevant, or just do it sporadically, because that'll help you to slowly pick up these words over time. And also, if you wanted to understand a sentence or expression, you can do that as well. So, when you're playing the game, one of the great things too is that we're going to be playing the game and we're going to see the same words over and over again, and that's going to help us to kind of reinforce learning that vocabulary over time, which is why I say really try not to be too stressed out about being really overwhelmed. So I'll give you an example. If I open up my inventory, right, and I see this word, Waffen, which is a weapon in German, you're going to see that word again and again and again until eventually you've just internalized this word into your long-term memory and reflex, where it's just super easy and you just have that in your subconscious. And you're going to see that with all these words. They're going to pop up again and again, like Schmuck, which is jewelry. You're going to just get this vocabulary by seeing it again and again in the menus, in the game when you're listening or whatever, right? Weapon power, magic power, it's a great way to get internal vocabulary review without using like a flashcard system or traditional vocabulary methods, which is amazing. So, even though you're gonna probably look up words that and you'll forget them, slowly over time you will see the words kind of reviewed, and that's a great way to learn vocabulary. You're gonna see it in pretty much all aspects of the process. And that's the thing. This game is just filled with so much content. There's so many quests to do and different storylines where you can really just test your understanding on whether or not you understood what happened in the quest, or what's happening around you. There's just so many opportunities to both work on the reading comprehension and the listening comprehension. And of course, if you want to play with other people, there are social guilds where you can obviously practice speaking with other people in German or French, or even English, and really just get a lot out of your experience and make it more social, which is not really an option in some of the other games out there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of try to show you the game a little bit and give you a perspective about what is possible in terms of learning. Like I said, we want to be okay with being overwhelmed, but like I said, it's going to take some time to get comfortable and used to this experience. So we're basically entering the city of Windhelm, I think. So if you played Skyrim, you probably are somewhat familiar with this city. And like I said, there's just so much that you can do in this game. There's so many people that you can talk to. There literally is hundreds and hundreds of hours of content, and it's just a great way to get that experience in without, while also having a fun time as well. So let's speak to this person right here.
Die Schmiede ist kein Ort für Spiele. Wenn ihr zum Arbeiten hier seid, dann fangt an. Ich habe ein paar Dinge, wenn euch Vorräte fehlen, aber beeilt euch. Das Metall wird kalt.
And so what's great about this is that you're going to get the listening comprehension in, but you almost have a transcript, so you can it helps you to, it's almost like training wheels. You can practice listening, but also, see the text that the person is saying. And what's awesome too is that you can practice speaking by just saying out loud what your character would say. It's like, was habt ihr anzubieten, Schmieden? And we can then practice our speaking ability as well as listening. And so, like I said, everything is fully voiced. So you're just getting a ton of listening comprehension in, and a ton of reading in, and speaking if you make yourself talk, which is great as well. So this really is just an amazing way. Now, like I said, if I go ahead and try to talk to a character, I might not understand everything. So if we talk to him, for example,
Willkommen in Windhelm und beim besten Stall der Stadt. Wir führen außerdem das beste Gasthaus, falls ihr nach einem sucht. Ihr findet es gleich dort drüben.
So you might not understand everything in this sentence. You might not even understand it at all, depending on your skill level. Be okay with that. Really try to take it slow and infer the meaning of the things that you see. And look up words that maybe you see again and again, or you think are relevant, or whatever. I wouldn't be too obsessed about understanding every single thing in the game, because there's just so many words. There's just so many words, and it can be quite advanced at times. But really try to take things slowly and to really immerse yourself in the experience, and really just try to understand the menus. Like here we could upgrade our horse with different capabilities. Here we can buy different horses. So really try to immerse yourself in that experience, but don't be too concerned about not understanding everything. It's just going to be natural. You know, and what you'll find too is that the more that you play the game, the more you'll be comfortable with it, and your vocabulary will increase, your listening coverage will increase, and you might not understand a lot of the quests in the game and the stories, but you're slowly picking up vocabulary. You're slowly getting, you know, more skills in listening. And you know, when you enter new zones and you keep going, you'll start to see that you understand more of the game. You'll understand more of the story. So don't feel too intimidated by that or too discouraged. It's very normal to be very overwhelmed. The best thing you can do for yourself is just really push through and try to you know, try to get the most out of the experience, even if it's just one word or two words. And so what I'm going to do is try to show you some of the quests that you could possibly encounter in the game, just to show you how this experience might go, or how to best approach it. So here we've kind of just entered this region right here, and we're going to go ahead and head south. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the combat. I'm probably not very good, so please don't try to judge me too hard on this. But what's great about this game too is that, as you can see, it's very slow paced, right? We can enter a town, we can talk to characters, and take our time and talk to people, look words up, and it's not a rush, right? Where we can really sit there and read the text, listen to the audio again and again, and not be too concerned about rushing in the game, which is really a big advantage. So here's a quest, and let's go ahead and talk to them.
Ihr seht nicht wie jemand. Die Großen haben eure Ankunft bemerkt, Fremder. Seid auf der Hut. Wiegenbruch ist nicht mehr der idyllische Ort, der er einst war. Ihr wisst es nicht? Die großen Leute bereiten sich auf einen Kriegszug vor. Ich spüre, dass ihr und die großen Leute einen gemeinsamen Feind haben. Ich würde sagen, ihr seid genau zur rechten Zeit gekommen. Das gefällt mir an einem Champion.
And like I said, you can take your time. There's no rush to click. It almost presents it to you in these nice bursts where you can process the audio and really process the reading as well. And we can continue slowly but surely, look up words when we want, and listen as well.
Dann seid ihr ein Verbündeter der großen Leute. Nehmt dieses Horn und stoßt bei der Höhle hier in der Nähe hinein. Es wird einen Riesen an eure Seite rufen.
And like I said, we can also practice our speaking. Wenn ihr das so sagt.
Speer der Sturmfäuste verstecken sich.
And here we picked up a new quest, and as you can see, the audio quality is really great. So, like I said, there's just thousands upon thousands of quests to play, and one of the things that I like about the Elder Scrolls is that, you know, it can be pretty tiring reading a ton of text or listening to text, and you kind of almost get these internal breaks by playing the combat in the game, because when you're actually battling or using your weapons, there is not too much language learning going on, but it almost acts as this kind of nice break, this kind of nice pause from the language learning process, where your mind gets to relax a little bit. You really get the opportunity to, just play the game, right? Have combat and take a breather from both the reading and listening process, because when you read and listen too much, it really can get a little tiring. You know, it's totally normal to, after 30 minutes or an hour, to be really tired and want to do something else. You know, it's perfectly okay, because, like I said, there's a lot being thrown at you at once. So what the combat does, or even just walking around and exploring things, helps to kind of break up the process of the language learning, where you might talk to characters for 10 minutes and then go explore a dungeon, or fight monsters and things like that. And I'm trying to trying to find some places to show you some of the combat. I mean, like I said, don't be too worried that you're not doing language learning at certain points in the game, because obviously, you know, there's gonna be moments where you're just not practicing language learning. So if I battle with this wolf, you can see some of the combat, and you can customize your character however you want. So like I said, we weren't doing a lot of language learning there, but we are kind of getting a nice break from the language. And we're still getting experience, right? We see the word for wolf, which is wolf in German, at the top hand corner of the screen. So you are still kind of getting exposed, even if you're just seeing it in the corner of your eye, which can be fun. And like I said, you can customize your character in so many different ways, and just and play the game how you want. And of course, also, you can also play the game with other people and have a social aspect of things, whether that's through guilds or dungeons or really whatever. So, like I said, there's just so many options in terms of how to play and to customize your character and really get lost in this world while practicing another language. So I didn't want to keep this for too long. Hopefully this gives you a rough perspective on how to approach the Elder Scrolls Online with language learning. And like I said, you can apply these concepts to other video games or other MMOs that maybe have other language options. But really, I so highly recommend this game. It really can give you a lot of value. And so I'm going to run away from this wolf, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.